The oxygen recycler coughed, sputtered, and died for the third time that week. Miran wiped grease from his hands onto his already filthy coveralls and swore under his breath. The frontier station Epsilon 7 was falling apart, held together by human ingenuity, duct tape, and sheer stubbornness. "Excuse me, sir?" Miran turned to find Elena standing in the doorway of the maintenance bay. The Valari female was massive by her species standards, her blue-gray skin rippling over what humans would call a generously curved frame. Her forearms fidgeted nervously, two clutching a small data pad, the other two ringing together. "Yeah," Moran grunted, returning his attention to the recycler. "If you're here to complain about the air quality, get in line." "No, sir, I came about the position." "The cook position you posted," Miran paused. He'd posted that ad 3 months ago. The station's previous cook, a Terran named Rodriguez, had shipped out on the last supply run, leaving them with nothing but protein paste and freeze-dried rations. In that time, not a single applicant had shown interest. Most species found human dietary requirements bizarre at best, toxic at worst. "You know how to cook human food?" he asked, skepticism heavy in his voice. Elena's head tendrils quivered, the Valari equivalent of a nervous nod. "Yes, sir. I studied at the Interspecies Culinary Institute on Proxima Station. I have certifications in 17 different species cuisines, including Terran." "Then why apply here? This is a dump at the edge of nowhere." Her large, dark eyes dropped to the floor. Sir, I applied to 63 positions across the sector. No one will hire me." Her voice became barely a whisper. "The Valari say I'm too fat to be loved, sir. They say I bring shame, but I can cook. I thought maybe humans wouldn't care so much about—" "Stop right there," Moran interrupted, standing up. He was covered in grease, exhausted, and running on 4 hours of sleep. "You're telling me you can make actual food? Real food, not paste?" "Yes, sir. I brought samples." "Then you're hired." "I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your people think. Can you start today?" Elena's eyes went wide. "Sir, you don't want to see my credentials? My references? You have an ICI certification. That's worth more than any reference letter. Look around you." Moran gestured at the decrepit station. "We've got 23 humans, 5 krill, and 2 Centauran researchers living on synthetic slop, because nobody knows how to work a kitchen. If you can actually cook, you'll be the most important person on this station." Thank you, sir. But I must be honest. The other species, they mock me. They say I'm disgusting. Your reputation might—" "My reputation?" Moran laughed, a harsh sound that echoed in the bay. "Lady, I'm a human mechanic keeping a 40-year-old station running with spare parts and spite. I've got 17 safety violations pending. The council wants to shut us down, and yesterday I had to bypass 3 critical systems just to keep the lights on. You think I care about galactic beauty standards?" For the first time, Elena's tendrils lifted slightly. A Valari smile. "No, sir. I suppose not." "Damn right. Now you said something about samples." 3 hours later, the station's common room had been transformed. The smell alone had drawn every human on Epsilon 7 like moths to flame. Moran sat at a table, staring down at what Elena had called a simple demonstration. Roasted vegetables that actually tasted like vegetables. Synthesized protein that had been seasoned and cooked until it resembled actual meat, and something that looked suspiciously like fresh bread. "How?" he asked simply. Elena moved around the small kitchen with surprising grace despite her size, her forearms working in perfect coordination. "Humans require specific nutrient combinations and flavor profiles. Most species try to replicate your food chemically, but I studied your agricultural history, your cooking techniques. The secret isn't synthesis, it's preparation." Dr. Sarah Chen, the station's chief researcher, closed her eyes as she took another bite. "I haven't tasted food like this since Earth. Elena, this is extraordinary." "Thank you, ma'am." Elena's tendrils curled with pleasure, though her posture remained hunched, as if trying to make herself smaller. Over the following weeks, something shifted on Epsilon 7. The common room, once avoided except for necessity, became the station's heart. Elena cooked 3 meals daily, each one a revelation. She learned preferences, accommodated allergies, and somehow made the limited supplies sing. But more than that, she began to straighten. Her hunched posture eased. Her tendrils lifted higher. She laughed, a sound like wind chimes, when Moran joked about his latest mechanical disaster. One evening, Moran found her in the kitchen after hours, preparing dough for the next day. "You don't have to work this hard," he said. "Standard contract is 2 meals a day." "I know, sir. But I want to. For the first time in my life, I'm—" She paused, searching for words. "Appreciated. Not for being small or fitting their standards, but for what I can do." Moran leaned against the counter. "You know what I learned working with machines? Every part has a purpose. The problem isn't the part. It's people trying to use it wrong. Your people wanted you to be something you're not, but here, you're exactly what we needed." "That's very kind, sir, but it's Moran, and I'm not being kind. I'm being honest. Humans don't care much for arbitrary standards. We care about competence, reliability. Can you do the job? That's all that matters." He grabbed a cup of the calf she'd brewed, somehow making even the synthetic coffee taste real. "You came here thinking you'd have to earn acceptance by proving your worth despite your appearance. But that's not the human way. We judge you by what you contribute, period." Elena's four hands stilled in their work. "Is that truly the human philosophy?" "It's survival philosophy. We came from a death world. We couldn't afford to reject people based on arbitrary standards. We needed every capable person we could get. That mentality stuck." He took a sip. "Besides, you want to know what I think when I see you?" She tensed, old fears rising. "I think there's the person who saved us from protein paste." He grinned. "You're a hero, Elena. A real honest-to-God hero. Never forget that." 6 months later, when the Sector Council inspection team arrived, they found Epsilon 7 transformed. The station still violated codes, still creaked and groaned, but morale had never been higher. And in the common room, a Valari cook moved with confidence, her tendrils high, her forearms creating culinary magic. The human approach wasn't complicated. Judge people by what they do, not what they look like. It was a simple philosophy born from necessity, but to one alien cook on the edge of civilized space, it meant everything. After all, humanity had learned long ago. Competence has no weight limit.